what do you do when you're trying to meditate and there's a load of noise around? When before we start meditating, we often get these romanticized ideas of what it could be like, because you'll see in articles and blog posts and whatnot these beautiful pictures of someone meditating in a nice forest or next to a beautiful lake in a garden, and it looks all peaceful and easy, but that's definitely not reality. What we often find is that when we start to meditate, we try and find a spot that's quiet, because we're always told, going to find a quiet place. But that's not always easy. I mean, at the moment, there's a construction site next door. So the whole day I have banging and beeping and all sorts of noises. So what do you do if you find that you're trying to find this peaceful, quiet place, but you just can't because there's just too much noise? You can meditate on a bus, on a train, in traffic. There's actually, you can meditate absolutely anywhere. And also, if you look into a lot of magical practices with the training, they often include the need to find inner silence. And usually the instructions to find inner silence are simply just quiet the mind. That's it. I mean, there's nothing more to it. They just say quiet the mind. But I mean, how do you quiet the mind? The mind's noisy. You've got all this noise around you. So how do you find this inner silence? Now, there is a meditation practice called Antar Mouna, and I find the approach to Antar Mouna and to inner silence, because Antar Mouna actually literally means inner silence. But I find the approach to it extremely practical. So what you do is you start off, it's got 6 stages to it. So you start off eliminating the external noises and the external stimuli, and then you move on to your thoughts. And you don't try to eliminate the thoughts. As it comes up, you push it away with force. There's no force to it. You actually allow the thought to come up, and you deal with it, and you pluck it out like a weed by the root, so that it doesn't come back. And you keep doing that. And then you move on to stage 3, which is actually purposely thinking about something and focusing on that one thing for a while, and then eliminating it, and then moving on to the next thought. Then stage 4, 5, and 6 become more advanced. So stage 4, you would attain no thought. So those do become a bit more advanced. But what I want to actually talk about is stage 1, where you eliminate external noises, because it's definitely a problem. There's so much noise pollution around, and when you start a meditation practice, you as I say, you get these romanticized ideas, and you think that you should be able to just sit down and quiet the mind straight away. But the problem is that thoughts come up. But with the external noises and with the external stimuli, that also generates thought. And those thoughts then come in, and then they start to snowball into other thoughts, and you just 5-10 minutes into meditation, and all you've been doing is thinking all these hundreds and hundreds of thoughts, when you should be actually concentrating on the one thing. So with stage 1, what you do, you start with the senses, except for sight, of course, because your eyes are closed, so all you're seeing is blackness anyway. So you start with your senses, your sense of smell. Just see if you can smell anything, incense that's burning, something like that. Just don't identify it, though. Don't go after it and identify it, because as soon as you try to identify it, then you start creating an image of it, and you start analyzing it. Just acknowledge that it's there. Okay, so you start with the sense of smell, then you go to the sense of taste. See if there's anything you can taste in your mouth. Then the sense of touch, the clothes touching your body touching the floor, If you're lying down, I wouldn't suggest lying down because you might fall asleep, but if you are, then your whole body, your back, your legs, your arms against the floor, or just your backside and your legs on the cushion, the floor, whatever you're sitting on. If you're standing, feel the floor beneath the feet. So just get that sense of touch. And then go into hearing. And this is the anchor to the whole thing, is actually hearing. So what you do is you kind of try to listen for things in the far distance. It's almost like sending your sense of hearing out like a radar. And you try and find these sounds in the distance, and just don't analyze them, don't identify them. Just hear them. Acknowledge they're there, be mindful of them, and just know that a sound is there. So there may be a sound, and then you'll hear another sound, and then you start bringing the sense, the hearing closer and closer to different sounds, and then to sounds in the body. And then you can go back out again, listen to the sounds in the distance, and then come closer again to the body and listen to the sounds in the body, the breath going through. Maybe you get a gurgle in your stomach, something like that. You're swallowing your saliva, those kind of sounds. But don't identify them again. Don't identify them. Don't chase after them. And then what you do is just switch from one sound to the other. Just bounce. Just bounce between the sounds. And just keep bouncing. What happens eventually is that you become so bored of all the sounds that you just reject them. And then you can start internalizing. And that's really the whole thing to it. So if you do find that you are trying to find a nice, quiet, peaceful place to meditate, but you just can't because there's all this noise pollution around, try this method. Have a look for Antar Mouna. I'll put some links in below. There's some great, fantastic articles in the yoga magazine that I found, which just explain the whole thing perfectly. And they go through all the stages as well. But have a look at that, read through it, see how you feel about it. If it's something that you can identify with and resonate with and use, and try, just try stage one. Just do stage one for a while, and then move on to stage two, perfect that, and then move on to stage three and perfect that, and move on from there. But this is great for dealing with noise pollution while you're trying to meditate. And that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.